Derek Myers, the teammate of Gerald West. Oh, and the 98 of Jerry Glenn's just gone round. I think that was off the bumper of Logan Lansford. And that is going to give the advantage to Gerald West here on the outside line. But can they hold it? That is the question. Did they make their move too soon? Thomas Harmon sitting there just in behind them. He moves up. Derek blocks. He moves down. Derek blocks again. And we have contact. Derek Myers goes round. The win is going to Thomas Harmon. Thomas Harmon wins this race. P2 goes to Brian Harris. P3 to Logan Lansford. What an incredible... To go down to the bottom lane to make it a 3 versus 2 on the bottom, and the outside line has just lost all of its momentum. Everyone going down to the bottom lane now. They'll be getting ready to reset for the next couple of laps, as we're going to have 3 laps left to run when Sanchez gets across the start finish line here. But it's going to be interesting to see whether Harmon is going to push Sanchez to the win, or whether he is going to make a run at as Jonathan Hernandez comes out and takes the lead. Oh, we got lots of stuff going on here. Oh my god, there is death everywhere. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Homestead Miami Speedway, and welcome to the Autism Awareness Championship race here on the Aussie Sim Commentator Season 1 2022 for the Output Racing League. This is where all the chips are on the table. Everyone is showing off their hands. We even have a Matt Burgess here to have some fun. Got 4 drivers in the championship: Thomas Harmon, TJ Crampton, Matt Horton, and Brian Pizzacchemi, and they're all battling for the championship. There's even going to be a close battle for 5th, actually. Chris Champeau, John Lozelle, and Kyle Kraus all separated. In fact, and James Watson as well, all separated by 10 points. And Jonas Marquez in 9th, he's just 11 points back. So we're here for the championship race, obviously. This is where everything is really going to matter. It doesn't matter about points anymore. There's no weird configuration trying to figure out who's going to finish where to get the win. It's a straight out battle for our top 4. Whoever finishes highest will get the win. Early stages, Thomas Harmon is sitting in the front with a 33-111. Matt Horton's currently P2 with a 33-177, just .066 behind Thomas Harmon. Chris Champeau sitting in 3rd. TJ Crampton sitting in 4th. Brian Pizzacchemi sitting in P6 at the moment. These times are draft affected, as everyone's getting ready for a pit party. Travis Massia and Kyle Kraus off the front row. They're often racing for the pit party. With this one being for all the marbles, the top 4 are definitely going to have to put in every single effort they possibly can to win this race. Oh, look at that. TJ Crampton, the other championship protagonist, taken out in the pit party. That was off contact with Matt Burgess, and I think it was the 2 of Chris Champeau as well. Travis Massia was in the fence coming out of turn 4. That scattered everyone all over the front straight. Got 3 wide for 3rd. Almost 4 wide as Matt Horton runs the super high line in the 33 truck. Oh, Frank got loose. Oh, Frank into the fence and over he goes, right in front of Thomas Harmon. That's one thing these guys are going to have to keep a watch for. These trucks around here on fresh tyres, super loose. They're going to be slipping and sliding around on new tyres. It's definitely going to be a very exciting race. Currently we have 14 drivers registered for the race, 15 people in the server altogether. 2698 is the strength of field. And of course, this particular race is brought to us by Autism Awareness. Frank Isaacson is the sponsor for the racing action this evening. See the 60 Kyle Kraus just getting onto the apron there a little bit. Jonas Marquez slide jobbing no one up into the high line. In front of this pack is John Lozelle and Brian Pizzacchemi. So if this was a race for the championship here, Pizzacchemi would win it, and Matt Horton would be 2nd. So just let that sink in real quick. And we'll also go through our order here. It's Thomas Harmon sitting on top, as I said before. Matt Horton still P2. Chris Champeau's in 3rd. And it's Brian Pizzacchemi, TJ Crampton, John Lozelle, Kyle Kraus in 8th, Travis Massia, Frank Isaacson and Matt Burgess wrapping up the top 10. We've got Jonas Marquez in 11th, Mark Pensacola 12th. We've got James Watson 13th and Sam Niederhelm in 14th currently. Joe Slama has just entered the arena, but he hasn't set a lap just yet. And we have less than 20 minutes until the end of practice. And these guys will be wanting to see how these trucks react over a long run, because even though they do start out super loose, they tend to get very tight as the run continues on. And you could end up burning up your right front a lot. I did a little bit of practice with these guys earlier, and I saw quite considerable right front burning after 20 laps. About 10% difference between my right front and my right rear. It looks like we're going to get just about 50 laps per fuel run. So our fuel could definitely be a factor in this race, unless we get an early caution. See some of these guys experimenting with the Highline. This is one of those tracks where it is a multi-groove track. You can run the bottom, the middle, or the Highline. You don't want to run the Highline too early, because the trucks are generally a little bit too loose for that. But it's also a fine balancing act, because if you stay down low, you have a better chance of saving your tires. And that's just something that I've noticed ever since the grip had been changed around this track. So instead of putting PJ1 down on the track, what they did to make this track a little bit more realistic is they played around with the grip settings on the banking of the corners. So the high part of the track has a slight little bit more grip than what the lower part of the track has, which is more realistic, the real track. In real life, you can see cars running the Highline around here constantly and consistently. And that's exactly what a couple of these drivers are trying to do, including the one of Brandon Bennett, sporting a brand new paint here tonight. There he is, number one. Rocking the Air Jordans. 23, John Lozelle. As John spins out into the pit lane. We've even got some static TV cameras. Oh, and this is not a very good camera. Oh, we might have to edit a couple of these cameras on the fly by the looks of things. Oh, around goes the 12 of Matt Burgess. That's coming out of turn 2. I've mostly even seen cars getting loose coming out of turn 4 rather than turn 2. There we go. All these static cameras should be pretty damn good now. Editing on the fly, that's how we do it. Another thing you got to remember is that this is one of those tracks that has the restart zone, in which when a restart occurs, there's a particular zone where these guys have to start the race, and they will be utilizing that. If the leader does not go in that zone, then the green will just come out when they reach the end of it. If they go before it, they will get penalized. There's the 2 of Chris Champeau. He's going to be in the battle for 5th in points. Jonas Marquez in the 64. He's trying to catch up to Frank Isaacson in the 24. Frank, who is one of our super consistent drivers. He's currently sitting in 10th in points. And he's currently 27 off of 5th place. So he might not be able to gain any here, but he's only got Mark Pentecoff just 4 points behind him, and that's who he's going to try and fight off. Travis Massier sitting back in 12th. He's 20 points off of Mark. We now have 16 drivers entered into this race. 17 people in the server altogether. Strength of field is now at 27-37. Some of the times continue to tumble. Only 9.5 minutes left in practice. Current practice orders: Thomas Harmon, Matt Horton, Chris Champeau, Brian Pizzakemi, and TJ Crampton as your top 5. There's John Lozelle, Travis Massia, Matt Burgess, Kyle Kraus, and Frank Isaacson as your top 10. Jonas Marquez, Joe Salama, Mark Pentecoff, Brandon Bennett, James Watson, and Sam Niederhelm wrapping up the field. First through 15th is separated by less than 0.4 of a second. Sam Niederhelm in 17th is 0.588 off the fastest time set by Thomas Harmon. And a time that I did in practice is only 0.213 off the leading time. Maybe I should have raced this. And Matt Horton, who was around, got on the entry to turn 1. Kyle Kraus just coming out of the pits. Brandon Bennett going around him. Oh, someone junked it. Not sure who it was, but someone definitely hit the fence. Thomas Harmon's definitely the front runner so far as the championship protagonists go here in practice. There's the two of Chris Champeau. Obviously sponsored by Switch Champ Drives Cars. The 33 of Matt Horton going around. Smacks the wall right in the restart zone. That darker blue portion of the fence that you see on the inside of the track, that is the restart zone. That particular blue area is painted both on the inside and the outside of the wall there, coming out of turn 4 on the front straight. And don't forget to check out the streamers who are in the field. Champ Drives Cars, obviously, for Chris Champeau. Jungle Cat Wizard for Thomas Harmon. I'm not sure if he's streaming or not. I'm not sure if anyone else actually streams, but you know, just keep an eye out for them. We are currently missing our fearless leader, Mr. Jaron Sanchez, although he is in the middle of moving house, so we should see him back next season. Not sure when next season, but next season. There's a 33 of Matt Horton getting a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. Almost got cleaned up on his way to the infield. 38 of Thomas Harmon. There's John Lozelle with 23. Coming out to have another crack at it before the end of practice. Also got TJ Crampton back on track as well. Frank Isaacson sitting in P7 at the moment. Looking pretty good. In fact, we have 7 cars within 2/10 of the lead. But just remember, practice does not mean anything. It's all about how you qualify and how you get through the race. So TJ Crampton did just move himself up into 5th with a 33.226. Displacing Brian Pizzakemi down to P6. Jonas Marquez struggling with the looseness of the truck. He must be on fresher tyres. Actually, I'm wrong. He's not. He's on 21 lap old tyres. Damn. There's Joe Salama. Made his debut race last week. Did pretty alright for himself. Hopefully we see him making big improvements in the future. He's definitely a good driver with his IRA rating being at 47.57. Just wait for him to show some of that talent on track. But with less than a minute left in practice now, it is almost time to qualify here for the championship race. So some of these drivers are getting filled with the nervous energy. But we'll be back shortly, because there's going to be more action here from the Autism Awareness Championship race right here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the Output Racing League. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We are back here for the Autism Awareness Championship race here from the Homestead Miami Speedway, live and exclusive on the Autism commentator channel for the Output Racing League. Qualifying is complete. Time for us to start heading down and seeing who is going to be starting from where. And we're kicking things off with terrible camera angles. Here we go. On the pole will be the 23 of John Lozelle. On his outside, championship protagonist Matt Horton. Starting out of P3 will be championship protagonist TJ Crampton. On his outside, championship protagonist Brian Pizzakemi. P5 will be the 12 of Matt Burgess. P6, the 2 of Chris Champo. P7, and the lowest of the championship protagonists will be the 38 of Thomas Harmon. P8, Frank Isaacson. P9, Kyle Kraus. P10, James Watson. P11 will be the 9 of Joe Slama. P12, Mark Pentacuff. 13th will be the 13 of Travis Mascio. 14th, Jonas Marquez. 15th will be Sam Niederhelm. And P16 will be the 1 of Brandon Bennett. We're just waiting for everyone to get onto the grid so we can get this thing underway. We've got 4 people fighting for a championship. We've got 100 laps. We've got 16 cars. 1/4 of this field is going to walk away. Like, there's 1/4 of the field who has a chance of walking away with the championship. And everyone else still battling for personal pride and positions throughout the rest of the field. Here is John Lozelle into 23. As I said, he will be starting on the pole, and he's got 3 championship protagonists surrounding him in the 33, the 61, and the 78. And Thomas Harmon buried all the way down in 7th. Right, the pace car is going to come off. The first start will be on green. All the restarts will be on the leader in the restart zone. The pace car is in. And we're off and racing here for the championship race, Season 1 2022 in the Output Racing League, sponsored by Autism Awareness. And already you can see advantage inside lane. That might come back on the back straight here, although TJ Crampton clean and clear, just squeezing up in front of Matt Horton to take over second. Matt Horton's going to try and fight back. Brian Pizzakemi stuck on the outside here a little bit, while Thomas Harmon in P6 looking to get underneath of the 78 to take over 5th. But all eyes right now on the battle for second between TJ Crampton and Matt Horton, because that is where the battle is counting right now. TJ Crampton currently leading the way as far as the championship protagonists go. If we finish the race right now, TJ Crampton's walking out of here a champion in the Output Racing League. Representing JEM E-Racing and Speedway Memes Motorsports. TJ Crampton and John Lozelle looking really strong right now, actually, as they're pulling away from the rest of the field. They got half a second over Matt Horton in 3rd. You see the 78 and the 38 sitting back there in 5th and 6th. They're trying to make their way up a little bit further. Someone got very trotting around and I got a little bit suspicious. TJ's going to try and use the high line to get around John Lozelle here. And it's not that he's hoping to get the pass made on the outside, it's that he's getting the momentum up so he can try and dive down to the inside lane with higher speed. As the battle is now on for 3rd, with Matt Horton getting hounded by the 38 of Thomas Harmon. And Brian Pizzicomi is right there as well. The second, third, fourth, and fifth are all our championship protagonists. And just behind him, you have the 12 of Matt Burgess as well. TJ Crampton's still trying to take that lead away from John Lozelle. Either that, or he's just trying to will John Lozelle to go that little bit faster. Not wanting to fight him so much, maybe just push him along to try and extend this gap that they've got to third, which at the moment sits at almost a full second. Another thing these guys are going to have to watch for is tyre wear. As I said, the run starts out very loose, the trucks are slidey, but then they get very tight very quickly. It's very easy to burn up that right front. Thomas Harmon is starting to catch our two front runners though. And Brian Pizzicomi, who usually doesn't qualify, sitting really good back there in fourth as well. We know Pizzicomi knows how to save tyres, because that's how he makes his way through the field each and every single race. He's given himself the best possible shot at trying to take away the championship here. But the funny stat that I've got for this one is that Thomas Harmon is the only previous champion in the fight for the championship. Crampton, Pizzicomi and Horton have not won a championship here in the Output Racing League. So they're all battling for their first, while Thomas Harmon is trying to get his fourth. Go on board with the 61 of TJ Crampton. Just watch this gap behind him, because this is the gap that matters right now. It's half a second between Crampton and Harmon. If we were to get an early caution here, it would definitely change the way this race is going to be run. That gap is sitting fairly steady at the moment. You can see that TJ Crampton actually getting a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. It wasn't really enough to upset the car dramatically. Visually, you can see Thomas Harmon closing in ever so slightly. But now look at Thomas Harmon sitting back there in third. There's another thing we have to watch as well is Brian Pizzicomi. He is right there behind Thomas Harmon as well. He is definitely not out of this fight. Matt Horton, he's a little bit further back behind these guys, but he is still right up there in the top 5. He's putting himself where he needs to be a part of this battle. John Lozelle at the moment doing an amazing job, just sticking it out in the lead, staying in front of these guys. He doesn't care about the championship, he's just here for a dub. Oh, and TJ Crampton has made a critical mistake. He went high, he should have stayed low. That allowed Thomas Harmon to close it right up on his tailgate. But you never know, this could also be a little bit of strategy. If he gets right up there and backs up to Thomas Harmon, he could have a chance of wearing out Thomas Harmon's tyres a little bit more. Although that's probably not the way he's thinking. Because being right up in behind someone, your truck definitely gets a lot tighter as you don't have much downforce on your nose. But here we go. Thomas Harmon looking to the inside now at turn 3. PJ trying to do everything he can to pin Thomas down. But it could also be a detriment due to side drafts. Going out of the corner, TJ's going to have the draft coming off of John Lozelle. But Thomas Harmon just has the raw pace advantage to stay with him. PJ all the way at the wall. He's in the fence. He got into the fence, lost a whole lot of momentum, and he drops it all the way back to 4th now. In fact, he might even drop back to 5th as Matt Horton's having a sniff. Well, that is very unfortunate for TJ Crampton. He was looking so good too. He has the fastest lap of the race. But there's still a whole lot of race to go. We're only 16 laps down in this race. Means there's still another 84 to go. Everyone's still choosing to run the low line around here. No one's really been adventurous enough to go up high. They probably don't think that the tyre wear is that bad yet. So TJ Crampton now consistently running the high line, and he's been overtaken by the 60 Kyle Kraus for 5th. Crampton and Kraus now battling over that 5th position. A little bit of seesawing action going on there. Now see Matt Horton running the higher line. He wants to get some momentum up. Maybe try and lodge an attack on the 78. TJ Crampton, I think he must have gotten into the fence again. Lost a whole lot more positional-wise, dropping all the way down to 9th now. And that is probably going to be his championship done and dusted. Unless he can have a better second half to the race and move back up there. And he's coming in. He's got severe damage. He's coming in. This is going to be the end of his championship unless we get a caution right now. I don't think TJ is going to be lucky enough to get a caution when he needs it. The one thing he'll have in his favour is that he will be in position for the lucky dog. As long as he only stays the 1 lap down. So high drama already here in the Autism Awareness Championship race for the Output Racing League Season 1 2022. We are going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more action on track, so make sure you guys stay tuned, because in about 25 laps we'll be having green flag pit stops. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. And we are back here for the Autism Awareness Championship race. And it is going to be a heartbreak for TJ Crampton. He is back into the pits once more. And the heart is absolutely breaking for him. What this does mean is that our championship fight is now just between three drivers. That's Thomas Harmon, Brian Pizzakemi, and Matt Horton. They're currently sitting second, third, and fourth. As the battle for third is starting to intensify here a little bit between Horton and Pizzakemi. Horton, who has consistently been running the high line in 1 and 2, definitely starting to catch up to Pizzakemi here. And here goes the move now into turn 3. Will Horton hold on to it? He will. Gets the move made. That's Horton up into third. Pizzakemi down to fourth now. Pizzakemi trying to fight back in 1 and 2, but Horton's going to have that momentum on the outside to carry him through down the back straight. There's no real draft advantage there, although Pizzakemi almost kept his nose in coming into turn 3. Well, Horton, with all that extra momentum, was able to go much deeper into turn 3 and maintain position. It's amazing just watching the two lines at work and seeing how they differ this long into the run. There's a gap as they come out of turn 4. But this battle is still on in earnest. There's still a lot of battles going on through the field too. Chris Champeau sitting in 5th. He's currently the one poised to try and take home 5th in a championship. And we almost have a battle for the lead as well. Thomas Harmon edging ever closer to trying to get around John Lozelle here. So it looks like he's lost a little bit of time here in 3 and 4. Lozelle starting to run the high line in 1 and 2. He wants that momentum advantage coming off the corner. And Brian Pizzakemi has gotten back around Matt Horton for third. We just saw that in the background. And John Lozelle's playing the lines really well, maintaining his lead. And I do believe TJ Crampton is completely OUT out of the race now. Look at Lozelle. Running that high line really well, actually. It's not giving Harmon too much of a sniff. And Harmon does feel the effects of the draft going through turns, goes along the back straight, sorry. But Lozelle just doing enough to maintain and grow the gap in 3 and 4. Although this time, Harmon just about getting side by side in the corner. And in fact, a little bit of a wiggle there from Thomas Harmon. Got a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. been up behind John Lizelle for so long, he forgot what loose feels like. And that's a lot of gap between the two cars now. 0.2 of a second. This time, Thomas Harmon a lot closer to John Lizelle coming out of 2. Not sure if he'll be able to do anything in 3 and 4 though. In fact, that gap coming down a little bit in 3 and 4. This could be to Thomas Harmon's advantage in 1 and 2 once more. The 5 of Mark Pentecoff is in the pit lane. Zoe running much lower this time in 3 and 4, trying to maintain his lead. The one of Brandon Bennett coming into the pit, so some of these drivers thinking they're not going to be able to make it to halfway, starting to take a little bit of early pit stops. The TJ Cranton might have still been in with a chance. As this is definitely a bit of a chess battle here for the lead between Harmon and Lizelle. As I said, Harmon trying to battle for a championship here. It'll be championship number 4, Lizelle. Doesn't care about the championship. He's not in the fight for it. He just wants to get a win. And coming into this race, Lizelle has 80 starts, 2 wins, 26 top 5s with a rating of a 102. And this would be win number 3 if he was able to get it. The one thing that could be working against him here though is that he's been in the lead the entire time in this race, which means he's burning up more fuel as Thomas Harmon with a big run through 1 and 2 stays side by side with Lizelle coming out of the corner. This is going to be the closest that Harmon's going to be coming into turn 3. And Thomas getting very tight coming through turn 4. But he's definitely closer than what he has been in previous laps. This could be the 1 and 2 he needs to get the lead. Door handle to door handle right now as they come out of turn 2. And no, John Lizelle still maintaining the advantage. As Chris Champeau is trying to actually battle Matt Horton there for 4th. I just saw in the background. Here Thomas goes back down to the inside of Lizelle. Time he got his nose ahead a little bit. And he's going to stay side by side for the majority of the straight. Slots back in just before turn 3. So if Lizelle is smart here, he'll probably go low in 1 and 2, try and take away Thomas's line. That's if he can hold off Thomas along the front stretch here. Thomas right on his tailgate. And here goes Thomas. He's got the big dive on the inside. He's running a little bit higher than what he was previous laps, but he's going to get the move made. Now will Lizelle fight back on the back straight with all the extra momentum? The answer is yes. As I said, Lizelle doesn't care about this championship. He just wants to win. Harmon is going to maintain the lead coming out of turn 4. Lizelle now perhaps probably realizing that the high line was probably not the place to be. Staying down low this time in 1 and 2. Thomas Harmon with the better exit. Thomas Harmon now out in the clear air. He wants to lead for the rest of this race. I think he has to get at least 14 laps to prevent John Lizelle from leading the most. So if Lizelle can lead for another 14 laps, but just for another, I guess, 8 laps, then he'll sew up the most laps led points. Fastest lap of the race still actually belongs to TJ Crampton, even though he is no longer in this race. Matt Horton has dropped all the way down to 5th now. Brandon Bennett starting to work his way through the field. He's just gotten around Chris Champeau. Brandon Bennett, who obviously has pitted already, trying to go for the 2-stop strategy. Thomas Harmon pulling away from John Lizelle now. Now we just have to wait for the green flag stops to start. As we look at James Watson and Joe Slama. These guys battling over 7th and 8th. This green flag stops should be happening almost any lap now. Brian Pizzakemi lets Brandon Bennett by. There's Joe Slama in the 9. John Lizelle runs high to allow Brandon Bennett through. Brian Pizzakemi actually catching right up to John Lizelle now as well. Brian's best opportunity to try and take home the championship. Being up there in 3rd, he qualified for this race and everything. He's just got to try and close up to Thomas Harmon, which with Thomas in the lead is not going to be an easy feat. Like we've got some people experimenting with some alternate dimensions as Brandon Bennett has worked his way past Thomas Harmon now to get himself back onto the lead lap. Step away here real quick and I'm going to put you guys onto crank it up cameras. And let's just listen to these cars in all of their muscly glory. Alrighty, as you can see, we're well and truly past halfway. And just about everyone has pitted. Brian Pisacemi, one of the first to blink. Let's see if he can get the lead out of this with the one lap fresher tyres, or the one lap undercut. Thomas Harmon's halfway through the corner. There he is, just up ahead. This is a race for the lead coming out of turn 2. The gap is visually very small. And unfortunately, he couldn't get the undercut to work perfectly, but the undercut has worked for Brian Pisacemi. He is closer to Thomas Harmon than what he was previously. So Brandon Bennett is leading the way right now. He's out of sync as far as the pit stop cycle is concerned. So this is the battle for the championship right here between these two drivers. Matt Horton all the way down in P6. Although that will be corrected to 5th once Brandon Bennett pits again. One thing that will help Brandon Bennett here is a caution within the next 10 laps. Oh, sorry, in about 10 laps time. That would be perfect for Brandon Bennett. Brandon Bennett should be able to go to about lap 86 before he would need to stop for fuel again. Just off ahead of Thomas Harmon and Brian Pisacemi is Sam Niederhelm, who is a lap down. Pisacemi definitely looking for a way around Thomas Harmon here. Brian Pisacemi coming into this race, 130 starts, no wins, 42.5s and a 93 rating. If he could get his first win here tonight, then he will also walk away with the championship. Conversely, if he just finishes in front of Thomas Harmon here, then he will walk away with the championship. Both of these guys catching right up to Brandon Bennett now, who is on much older tyres. Sam Niederhelm in the 66. He is just trying to stay out of the way. Oh, Thomas Harmon runs a little bit higher here in 1 and 2. That opened up the door for Pisacemi. Pisacemi almost let himself right into it. As now both of these guys right on the tail of Brandon Bennett. Has had Bennett on much older tyres than these guys. He runs high, lets them both through nicely. Now the battle is all between Harmon and Pisacemi on the win. As I said, Bennett's just hoping for a late race caution here, preferably around or just before lap 80. So that way he can maintain a solid position here. Brian Pisacemi now with the fastest lap of the race, a 33.264. And there are no tiebreakers in this. It's whoever wins on track. Whoever has the highest position on track will walk away with the championship. I know during practice, Fizikemi was running that truck ragged, just trying to maintain pace with Thomas Harmon. I'm pretty sure Harmon was sending it as well. Just try and cast doubt in the mind of Fizikemi. Another thing Thomas Harmon has to realise here is that being in front, he's using more fuel than what he would be if he was running behind. He was in the draft the whole time up until he got around John Lozelle. John Lozelle actually still running in fourth right now. He's catching up to Brandon Bennett as well. I think Sam Niederhelm just tapped the fence a little bit coming out of turn 2. Look at the amount of speed Brian Fizikemi was holding on corner entry. Tried on board with the gyro cam in Fizikemi's truck. See the gap right there, that's 0.2 of a second. Fizikemi actually has a little bit of a later apex than what Harmon does in the corner. Except for when it comes to turn 2. Harmon kind of diamonds off the corner there a little bit. That's something that you can only see by being in the truck. And we will see it here in the outside view, but we don't see it as much as what we would do inside the truck. Thomas Harmon pulling away from Fizikemi now. 0.4 of a second is the gap. The one thing that would absolutely shatter his lead right now, the one thing that he does not want to see is a caution. Knowing this league with everyone making it through the way they have, and now Brandon Bennett comes into the pits. He concedes defeat. He held on for as long as he thought he could. At the end of the day, those old tyres just gave up on him. So top 10 as it stands right now is Harmon, Fizikemi, Lozelle, Horton, Champeau, Burgess, Watson, Massier, Slama and Kraus. The 5 of Mark Pentecoff also enters the pits once more. And the one thing that Thomas Harmon does not want to see right now is the caution flag. Because that doesn't just provide opportunity for Fizikemi to get around him. It also opens up another opportunity for Matt Horton, who's sitting in 4th right now. I mean, no doubt Thomas Harmon would have a clean entry into his box if it did come down to caution flag pit stops, but you'd have to worry about the traffic on the way out of his box. Mark Pentecoff comes back out on track just behind these guys. Now we're looking at James Watson. He's catching up to Brennan Bennett and Matt Burgess here. Brennan Bennett obviously with the fresher tyres. He is 1 lap down as he gets around Matt Burgess. Just up ahead is Matt Horton and Chris Champeau. They're battling over 4th and 5th. And Chris Champeau moves around Matt Horton to take over the 4th position. Matt Horton wants to battle him back though. Horton looking for the outside move. Brennan Bennett getting his way into this battle. Chris Champeau with a big slide jump coming off turn 2. Bennett trying to give these guys as much room as he possibly could. I think just his mere presence distracted Horton from trying to make a move there into turn 3. As the gap first to second is now almost a full second. This battle will continue to rage on between the 2 and the 33. Another battle that's still continuing is between the 9 and 13, Salama and Masia. These guys battling over 8th, which is the position that Masia has, and the position that Salama wants. I do believe these two are actually also catching up to James Watson here a little bit as well. Mark Pentecoff showing a little bit of pace with his much fresher tyres than the leaders. As we go back to looking at the 2 of Chris Champeau. Now back to 78 of Brian Pizzakemi. Mark Pentecoff, the man on the move. Second fastest times over the last few laps. Mark Pentecoff now looking for the move to get around Thomas Harmon to get back to 1 lap down. And this could actually hurt Thomas Harmon here a little bit. Oh, especially if Mark does that and gets on the apron. Thomas Harmon actually lost 0.3 of a second with Pizzakemi that time because of the distraction from Mark Pentecoff. So the gap is now back down to 1 second solidly. There's Brandon Bennett. He's catching up to Sam Niederholm. These two battling over 12th and 13th. Oh, and it sounds like Sam caught the fence there a little bit in 1 and 2. It's going to allow Brennan Bennett to get around him. Brandon with much fresher tyres than Sam Niederhelm by 16 laps. Brandon, who was just trying to look at finishing on the lead lap here. But we are going to go to a commercial break now. When we come back, we'll be running to the checkered flag, so make sure you guys stay tuned. More action from the Autism Awareness Championship race coming up shortly. Welcome back to the Autism Awareness Championship race here from the Homestead Miami Speedway, and we are currently watching the battle between Joe Slama and Travis Massia. Joe just got around Travis throughout the commercial break there, taking over the 8th position, and he is pulling away now. So he's been saving his tyres here a little bit, and he's on a little bit of a charge, going faster than most of the top guys. There's also nearly a 2-second gap between Thomas Harmon and Brian Pizzakemi right now. So that battle is pretty much all done and dusted unless something happens to Thomas throughout the run. We have just 19 laps left to go in this race. The 23 John Lascelles sneaks underneath the Sam Niederhelm. Sam, who is a lap down. Brian Pizzakemi is just about to have a visitor in the form of Brandon Bennett. And I'm surprised with how loose these trucks were early in the run. We never actually had anyone go around on fresh tires. My cat wants to use me as a plaything. I can feel his murderous intent. The 39 James Watson, he's trying to work over Matt Burgess in the 12. They're battling over the 6th position. Brandon Bennett right on Brian Pizzakemi's tail now. I said Brandon Bennett, who's just trying to get back onto the lead lap before the end of this race. He's going to have 16 laps to do so when they get to the start-finish line. James Watson trying to work over Matt Burgess now. if we're going to have a caution, then the potential is right here for it to come. Both these guys actually catching up to Matt Horton a little bit as well in 5th. They're both turning faster laps than Matt Horton. We're going to keep our eyes right here on this battle between Burgess and Watson. I said these guys battling over the 6th position. It doesn't really matter too much for the championship points between them, as I don't even think Matt Burgess was a factor in the top 12. James Watson looking for any way around Matt Burgess he can get. Ran high in 1, diamond down on turn 2, trying to get that speed momentum advantage on the 12. Again, with just the matter of 12 laps to go, the last thing Thomas Harmon wants to see right now is a caution. And this is totally not me hoping for a caution. Watson and Burgess still continue to battle it out. Watson with a great run this time through 1 and 2. Can't do anything with it going into turn 3 though. Just didn't quite have enough speed and momentum to carry him through there. So he is running a slightly higher line than Burgess through 3 and 4. Here we go into turn 1. This time Watson has the inside line. Burgess running very high. They come off the corner side by side. Burgess will have the momentum of that high line. Watson giving him all the space in the world. As now we've got 10 laps to go. Oh, a little bit loose there for Watson going through turn 4. He maintained it well. As a 12 of Matt Burgess went very deep into 1 and 2 that time. It looks like the 38 Thomas Harmon just about to encounter lap traffic from both in front and behind. Brandon Bennett has just slowly been chipping away at him. And he's also catching up to the 5 of Mark Pentecoff to put him a second lap down again, after Mark was able to race his way back onto being 1 lap down. But Mark Pentecoff, sorry. I was just thinking about Burgess because Burgess is right here. But this is still a very intense battle, and we've only got 7 1/4 laps to go. These guys have 7 1/2 to go as they come along to the back straight. Now 7 laps to go for our leader, Thomas Harmon. And Thomas enjoys a 3-second lead over Brian Pizzacami. These two here, Watson and Burgess, they have been catching up to Matt Horton every single lap. I don't think they're going to have enough to properly catch him and pass him, but they have definitely been catching him. See, just behind these two, Joe Slama has been catching up to them. 5 to go now. And this is going to be a battle that's going to stay intense for the rest of this race, I do believe so. Two to go, we'll swing back to our leader, watch him on his last couple of laps. Currently sitting at 3 laps left to go in this race for Thomas Harmon. The gap has been fairly stable between our two leaders, actually. Sitting at about 2.9 seconds, has been for the last few laps, as we're now on 2 to go. There is our leader, Thomas Harmon. If we're going to get a caution flag, we need it now. I'm not sure if we will get one or not, though. We come through turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. It is going to be white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for Thomas Harmon in the 38 truck. Thomas has been an absolute dominant force this entire season. He won the regular championship. He's got half a lap to go, and he will win the overall championship as well. Coming through turn 3, he's going to slow down, and he's actually going to let Brandon Bennett finish on the lead lap. Out of turn 4, your winner of not just the race, but of the championship, the 38 truck of Thomas Harmon. P2 is going to go the way of Brian Pizzakemi. P3 is John Lazelle. And that was a pretty intense race for the most part. We're just going to wait for everyone to finish. Brandon Bennett might actually be out of fuel. He's just coasting. But Thomas Harmon wins the championship race, wins the championship. He comes home with a healthy little payday, and he's going to get a trophy sent out to him. And he's even got enough gas left for a burnout. Got the 12 of Matt Burgess there as well. We are going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have driver interviews as we crown a 4-time champion. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, we are back, and it's time for our Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award winner. And well, we may as well go out of our way and say it right now. The Hard Charger is also a winner, also our championship winner, and 4-time champion of the sport. Of course, it is going to be the 38 of Mr. Thomas Harmon Thomas. 4 championships. This one probably not as hard fought as what some of the others were, but nevertheless, it all came down to the wire, and you were just better on the day.
Yeah, thankfully we got the long runs that we did. It was really equal um, early run, and there wasn't much you could do with anybody unless they messed up. But I was fortunate enough to get the long runs and save my tires a bit better than most, and pass them on the long run.
Now let's talk about your qualifying effort. You qualified a little bit down today, starting in 7th, and worked your way into the lead. What was the start of the race like? Being completely surrounded by people and having all of your championship competitors in the front of the pack, just waiting to stay ahead of you.
Yeah, I had it clipped the apron in 3 and 4 on my second lap in qualifying. It cost about 2/10, and ended up starting deep in the pack because of it. So I knew I had to be aggressive and had to make some passes early and hope that I could keep contact with whoever was out front. Fortunately, we were able to do that, and thankfully nobody wrecked around me.
All right, now let's talk about the race as a whole. You talked about saving tires, which we all know is very important around here. But what was the strategy with just staying low the whole time? Is it easier to save your tires on the low line rather than the high line, where you can also gain the momentum?
Um, I've experimented with the top a little bit in practice, and I wasn't as comfortable up there as I was on the bottom line. Um, I knew Lazo was, and I knew Horton had experimented up there. And once I saw Lizelle start switching up there, I just knew it was a matter of time before um, I either got close enough to him coming out of 4 and was able to essentially slide job him, and or he would snag the wall. Fortunately for me, I was able to pull of a like a little baby slide job, but that was really all it came down to, was just getting lucky at the right time.
Now let's talk about your championship. This is, as I said, your fourth championship. How does this one compare to your previous three?
It's been a hot minute since I won one. It feels good to be back here. Um, Thanks, Christian. uh, um, but yeah, it definitely feels good to get back here and get the competitive edge back.
Now let's look forward to next season. A whole new season, a whole nother chance to win another championship. But we're going to be doing it in the next gen cars, which, from the way that I've been playing around with them a little bit looser than what they were the last time we ran the next gen cars.
I'd say that kind of depends on where you go. They have a tendency to be a surprise package for you. Sometimes they're tight as hell. Sometimes they're loose as hell. Uh, Sometimes they go tight then loose. Sometimes loose and tight. Just never know. Throttle control is a thing with those, fortunately. So I'll definitely look forward to that season.
All right, Thomas, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, and not just for tonight, but for the entire season?
Yeah, shout out to you up in the booth for broadcasting it all season. Again, all the drivers that showed up. We had a good size field tonight, which was I'm glad to see. Um, Shout out to all the sponsors of each and every race. I know Autism guys sponsored a lot throughout the year. I'm glad that we put on enough good show, put on a good enough show, and are friendly enough to have them keep coming back and wanting to sponsor races. Shout out to all the drivers. I might have said that already. Uh, Jared for putting on the league, all the admins, drivers council, and overall outside of the truck.
All right, so I think the one biggest question that we're going to ask before we let you go here tonight, Thomas, how are you going to celebrate this fourth championship?
By getting over COVID.
Well, it's definitely a way to celebrate. Congratulations on not just a hard charger, not just a win, but on your fourth championship. And we look forward to seeing what you do when we come back next season for the next gen cars.
I'll be there. Have a good one, sir.
All right, guys. So that was our race winner, our hard charger award winner, and our championship winner, the 38 of Mr. Thomas Harmon. Coming up next, we are going to have our second place getter here tonight. And our second place getter is, of course, 78 of Mr. Brian Pizzakemi. Brian, it was a hard fought race the entire time. You got so close after the green flag pit stop cycle to Thomas and just couldn't quite maintain the pace that he was holding.
Yeah, I was really hoping that if I got off pit road better, I would at least jump him and maybe try to hold him off for. Well, I don't know if I could have, but I wanted to try because that was the race right there.
It was definitely a very positive race for you. You qualified well. You were up towards the front for the majority of the race, and it just didn't quite have all the pieces fall into your lap.
No, and that's as down as I sound. I mean, would have been nice to been closer, yeah. But as long as I've not known Thomas, it's just been really hard to find a crack in his driving. It's just really hard. But I mean, I didn't think I'd qualify as well as I did. In fact, I didn't even think I'd be able to stick with the front guys for. And then as the run kept going, I found myself in kind of a good spot for once. Because normally I'll just start in the back and just hang out and drive and have fun. But this is the first race in a while where I've like just put my head into just I have one thing and one thing only, win. But yeah, it was a close second. I'll take it.
It definitely looked like a very entertaining race, especially in the beginning parts, with Thomas starting a little bit deeper in the field. I thought maybe one of you three who were also in the championship fight might have been able to hold him off, but just not to be for any of you here tonight.
No, the the way this truck handled all night was just you overstep just a little bit and you're sliding. And kudos to Thomas, he figured it out quite well and had it down pat. I mean, this thing was sideways every other corner, it felt like, which was a lot of fun, but I'm not used to that kind of driving yet.
Well, hopefully next season, when we go to the next gen cars, maybe fortunes will be a little bit more in your favor.
Did you say walls? I think you meant to say walls. Yeah, the next gen has been an interesting car, so I'm looking forward to next season and trying to maybe start a new thing where I actually qualify every week.
All right,
Nah.
well, before we let you go here tonight, Brian, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
A shout out to you for the broadcast as always. You've done an amazing time every time we have a broadcast. It's been a pleasure having you broadcast every race. Shout out to Drivers Council, all the drivers, all the fans for sticking this one out because it was a lot of fun. It was this truck was such a handful. I'm glad everyone was able to keep it under them, and we were able to go green the entire way.
All right, Brian. Well, thank you very much for coming out. Congratulations on second in the race and second in the championship. Look forward to seeing what you can do next season when we come out for the next gen cars.
All right, thanks, Corey.
All right, guys. That was a 78 of Brian Pizzakemi, today's second place getter and the second place getter for the championship. Coming up next, we are going to have our third place getter here tonight. And third place goes to the 23 of John Lazelle. John, you weren't in the championship fight, but you definitely put on one hell of a show out there, finishing in third.
Well, I have to make these guys fight for it, right?
That's exactly right. And you're
Yeah.
actually in a little bit of a point.
I had a feeling. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
You're actually in a little bit of a points battle of your own here, trying to take fifth from Chris Champeau. And I do notice that he finished in fourth here, so I don't know if you actually were able to get fifth place there.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd have to look at the stats at the end. I led laps, so that's good. And I don't think he led any. No, actually, I think he might have. Did he stay out? No, I don't think he stayed out. He might have. I don't remember where he pitted. I don't know if he stayed out and tried to lead a lap or not.
But either way, solid race for you here tonight. Qualified on pole. You led almost the entirety of the first half of the race, and you came home with a decent finishing result.
Yeah, I'm happy with third in this league. This league's really, really tough, and Thomas is really good on the long run. And third place, I'll always take. In this league.
Right, now let's look forward towards next season, John. Next season, we're going to be jumping into the next gen cars. What's the feeling like for you as we head into season 2 in the next gens?
I haven't raced too much of that this year, but what I've seen is they still loose, but they're better than what they used to be. Were tight, so it's a lot better, I think, and just looking forward to next season.
All right, John. Well, before we let you go here tonight, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to that has helped you out either here tonight or across the entire season?
Just a shout out to Output Racing, great league, your YouTube channel and Twitch channel, Aussie Sim Communicator, and then my dollar. So.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, John. Congratulations on taking home the pole and third place here tonight. We look forward to seeing what you can do next season when we head into the next gens.
All right, Corey. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, guys. That was our third place getter here tonight, John Lazelle. And what a great race he had here tonight. That is going to wrap things up here for tonight and for the season. I'd like to thank everyone who has supported both the YouTube channel, the Twitch channel, and the Output Racing League over the season. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys, and I definitely wouldn't be broadcasting if it weren't for all the great sponsors that we have here. Until next time when we come back with the next gen cars, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we'll see you guys next season.